Hi, I'm Rachel Greenstein here with Mark Citron. This is Frozen Futures, where we discuss the NCAA's rising and future NHL stars. And we have a very special guest today. We have Max Sasson with us right now. Max is a current member of the Vancouver Canucks. He played 156 games in the USHL with 91 points. He played 75 games in the NCAA with Western Michigan with 64 points. And in 22-23, he was grabbed by the Abbotsford Canucks, and he's been in the Canuck system ever since. 2 months ago, he signed a contract extension for 2 years with the Canucks, so he signed through the 27-28 season. And since this is Mark's connection, I will let you take the lead, but thank you for joining us, Max.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me. I like the introduction.
Yeah, thanks for your time, Sasson. I mean, let's start with first of all, how did you sing the national anthem that night in Cedar Rapids? Because then even Rachel said she heard about it.
It's against you guys, right?
Yeah, wasn't that like a Wednesday
night
game?
Yeah, I heard about it. I didn't know that was you.
Yeah. Yeah, that was, well, I think it was snowing pretty bad, and our anthem singer canceled, and Liam Walsh and Jason Poland kind of told Mark Carlson and Tammy Carlson, his wife, who kind of ran the non-hockey operation stuff, like Sass is going to sing it. And I don't remember getting much of a choice, but I also don't remember, being that against it. I thought it was kind of funny. And
not all heroes wear capes.
Yeah, I got some laughs. And then I got an NHL Network, which is pretty sweet. And I didn't know that. I think we won like 2-1 that night in overtime, and you guys were like the best team in the league at that point. So
that must have been my first year, I think, because it was just I wouldn't have known any better, because literally I'm still there 7 years or whatever later, and no one has even come close, because they just use like automation or something if they don't have a singer. So it's like it's still very memorable. But yeah, that's a good memory too, because I think I remember that game actually.
Yeah, I was
before I was even in the USHL, and I knew about it.
Yeah, you guys were really good. But yeah, that was a funny experience. Some of the guys in Vancouver want me to sing it for the NHL, but I don't know if we can afford to hear my voice again.
Isn't that
Give
wild?
Give the people what they want.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think that I'm surprised you don't see not like stuff like that, because but I still feel like, I don't know. It's like you don't have to use the automation. Maybe we could just. Yeah, again, I think it's just really cool. But no, that was crazy, man. Like,
dang it,
because you played for Waterloo too, and we're talking about just development and guys who like that process with the NHL, and getting interviews and stuff like that. And I know you weren't drafted, but I think you've been a great example of a hardworking player that pays their dues. Has a good USHL career, has a great college career, and going back to step one with the process, like, did you do draft interviews and things like that? And what kind of like feedback did you get, at least from teams?
No, I mean, I never really even was thinking, NHL. Like, I know, Mark, quite a bit, probably watched me play a lot in my early years before, even people knew who I was. Yeah. So, I was never a highly touted guy. Honestly, I think my last year in the USHL, I started playing better hockey, but still was just in the mindset of hopefully I get to college and hopefully I play at some point in my college career. And so, yeah, I mean, kind of just one of those things. I never did any draft interviews or never even, watched the draft for thinking that I could be drafted. So it was more just I was hoping to play in college and figure it out from there.
Well, your last season in the USHL, you had 48 games played and 49 points, so I think you did a pretty solid job there.
I know.
So when
a lot of guys in their last year have really good numbers, and go out to college and don't do that much with it. So, but I've always kind of looked at it from that perspective. But yeah, I did. Obviously, I felt really good my last year.
No, but it's like exactly, because one say they're like eye-popping numbers. Like, look at a guy like Jack Harvey, Rachel, who is like soft skill though. Like he's still in college, but it's like he's like more than a point per game guy, but even a guy like Stephen Holiday in Ottawa.
Yeah.
He was in the USHL for like almost 5 years. Yeah, and he's a late bloomer too. I mean, he can. I don't know. I haven't really seen him play, but his skating must be better because, like so it's just like that's where this stuff when you're younger too doesn't really matter. Like as you said, I didn't even think about it. But then Max, let me ask you then. So what point of your collegiate career or whatever was it when you're like, oh wow, there might be a chance here I could at least play pro or I could at least play like in the American League, get a contract? What was the time that happened?
I think well, my first, I want to say 18 games in college. I had like 1 point, but I thought I was playing well, and I thought, I was on the fourth line, and we were on a really good team, and I did like my game though, and so I didn't get too consumed by that, and then there was a series against North Dakota, probably in like mid-January, where I had a really good weekend, and they were number 2 in the country or something at that point, and I was like, and I remember, I beat Jake Sanderson wide and scored, and I looked back and I was like, wow, like that guy's definitely gonna play in the NHL. So
He's so
I was
good.
like, maybe I have something here. And then Pittsburgh invited me to the development camp. So going into that second year, I definitely I wasn't thinking I was going to sign after that year, but it definitely opened my eyes when I had a really good weekend against a team of that caliber.
Oh, it's really interesting.
How'd they even approach you?
Vancouver?
Yeah, because you were only there for 2 years before they grabbed you.
Probably in like December or January of my sophomore year, I started getting some calls from a handful of teams, and Vancouver was the one though that Scott Young actually was the one that recruited me, and he's my assistant coach now. It's just funny how that works out because he was just a free agent scout at the time. But he reached out and seemed really interested, and I got on a call with Patrick Alvin, our GM now, and just out of all the teams, it felt, when the GM is calling you and coming to Kalamazoo to have lunch with you, it felt that they really cared about me and actually believed in me. So that's probably why I signed there.
I mean, he had great things to say about you after you signed a couple of months ago. He said he's shown significant improvement using speed and skill to build a strong foundation for his future. So it goes back to what Mark and I were talking about last episode with the work ethic that goes into this type of thing, especially as an undrafted player. It's really important to keep that mindset, especially when you never know when your chance is going to come, right?
Yeah, exactly.
By the way, are you somewhere very tropical? The shades are sweet. It looks really nice.
Yeah, I'm actually I don't want to like do this without
You're gonna end the call.
Oh, dude.
I'm in Florida right now for Olympic break.
Olympic break.
Yeah, I didn't realize Ratio's it's a 3-week break, so you guys have to. It's you have to go at least for.
Yeah,
you have to go.
No, unless you're going to the Olympics, I'm not sure of anyone that's just staying put in their city. So
Seth Jarvis had to cancel his Cabo vacation.
Yeah, I saw that.
All right, so backing up real quick, for development camps, because I remember hitting you up because I saw you did the Pittsburgh one. I was like, let's go. And
Mark, stop cursing on this podcast.
Well, it's all right. Let's set it out. Anyway, but it's so what kind of communication do you have afterwards though? So you went to Pittsburgh camp, and so it's do you follow up with them and I know you're still playing in college, right? So it's but how does that work? The whole development camp, because they have their eyes on you.
Yeah, I thought there was going to be more communication after, but there wasn't really, which is funny because that's one of the Pittsburgh. I went to their camp, and that was probably one of the only teams that didn't reach out that next year. So, it was pretty much just they didn't have a lot of draft picks at the time. And at the time, obviously, I thought they were interested in me, but it was more so they didn't have enough draft picks. So they invited 15 free agents to come just to kind of fill up the camp. So, yeah, I mean, if you get invited to a dev camp, it's cool. And, I would go for, if you're not drafted or anything, but,
it's interesting.
At the end of the day, I don't know how much really it matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because I'm like, what are these kids? And they like, it's fine because you have to thank the team, but it's like, I don't know. I had one of our guys was saying he was injured and he was just in the hotel. Like, I mean, just go back then. Like, he literally didn't do anything. I'm like, that
Yeah.
sounds horrible. For like 2 weeks, like he just sat in
Yeah.
his hotel room. Like it's just that's a different situation. But it's like,
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it was cool at the time, but looking back, it really didn't have
yeah.
any effect on my career. That's for sure.
So having said that, all right. So Western Michigan. Okay, so you're playing well. You beat Sandy there. Have a nice move, but when it all came to fruition, now we can talk about the Always Hungry League, the American Hockey League. How is that adjustment?
Yeah, I'd say it's a bigger adjustment from college to the AHL than like the USHL to college. I didn't feel in the USHL to college that much of a jump. But when you got to the American League, it really opened your eyes. I remember I was getting hit like really hard in the first the first bit there. I think I played like 13 games, and I just remember like, oh, like, yeah, you probably got to pick and choose your spots and kind of know. I never remember like, before pro or before the AHL, like knowing who you're out there against. But, when you get to the AHL and obviously the NHL, like it really is a difference of, who you're playing against, what skill do they have, or are they trying to run around, or are they a fighter, or because I mean, once you get to pro, I feel the adjustment of just, everyone has a role and they play it pretty well. So yeah, I thought obviously guys are way way stronger, and I think that was the biggest thing is just a different game and how much faster and you know kind of less room was out there.
Yeah, that's interesting. You won a Calder too, or right?
Yeah,
Like you won the championship, right?
I did win the championship. Yeah, that was pretty special.
Yeah, that's interesting. Talk about at least like, so when do you think you got adjusted to the American League, if you had to roughly say, and then talk a bit about that run, especially for an American League team. It's really sick.
Yeah, I'd say that whole like I played 7 games I think in the playoffs and 13 in the regular season, and I think that really really helped me in going into the next year of knowing what I was getting into. Um, so because we played Calgary in the playoffs and that was a heavy like hard series, and I didn't really know it, but the two teams hated each other. Obviously, I just came in, so yeah, I think that helped. And then, obviously throughout the year, I got more and more adjusted to the point that I thought that I deserved a NHL call up. And, that didn't happen my first year, but, the next year I obviously I end up getting some games. And then we kind of had, I think, 10 guys up with Vancouver, and we all got sent down for the playoffs. So we knew that we could kind of have something special. Um, and then yeah, we actually almost lost. There was like a play-in series in the USHL or the AHL, the USHL too, though I think. Um, and we actually went to game 3, ended up winning, and we ended up beating Coachella and going on the road, beating Colorado in game 5, which was game 7. And yeah, it was the coolest. Honestly, the coolest thing that I've done in my career is just playing such meaningful hockey, and our building was really really like insane in there. And I remember just every time we touched the puck, it was like it was, yeah, just getting chills
That's
thinking about it. It was awesome.
love that. That's what it's about. Yeah. So when you win something like that too, like I mean, is there a parade in Abbotsford?
Yeah, we
Also,
had
yeah.
like we had it was a kind of a parade like around the rink, and then we went into the rink, and then
Oh, that's
we
nice.
had whatever, I think it holds like 9,000. So we were all drinking beers and hanging out on the stage, and everyone telling stories, and it was really cool.
That's awesome. Because yeah, I don't know about that town at all, Abbotsford at all. I mean, I've never heard of it because it's kind of a newer affiliate, somewhat. Maybe
Yeah.
a few years ago, but
No,
like
it is a new
yeah.
affiliate, but Championship City.
Where is it again? Where is it located? You don't have to edit
It's
this
like
out, Rachel. I just don't
45
know.
minutes. 45 minutes. I'm gonna say east of Vancouver, I think.
Okay, yeah,
I'm
because
gonna
I usually don't
fact check you
focus
right
on
now.
that team
Yeah,
for
yeah.
networking because they're in Canada. I'm like, so it's basically like, oh
I think
shit.
is it east or is it
Let me
north?
say, hold on.
Or south?
All right, now we
Is it-
can talk also about your last name because as a broadcaster, I mean, listening the other night, I still butchered somebody's name and it just drives
Yeah,
me
it's
crazy.
southeast from Vancouver.
Southeast. Okay.
You're
Alright,
close. Yeah, that works. That's an acceptable answer.
Yeah.
yeah. So how many times have people butchered your last name so I can feel better about myself? Because I didn't butcher your last name, even though I
I'm
wanted
so
to.
glad I didn't either, because everyone always pronounces my
Oh.
last name wrong, so I know how that feels.
Yeah, that our broadcaster asked me last year how to say it, and then I was like, but it's fine, just say Sasson, like it's not a big deal. And then he got really upset because I met Kenny Albert, who's the guy for the Rangers in the
Yeah.
I met him
I wish
over
I
in
was
July.
gonna-
He's a great guy. He's the best.
really
So
nice guy. Yeah. So I met him in an elevator, and I was like, "Hey, how's it going?" And he's like, "I was like, are you Kenny Albert?" Because I recognized him, and he's like, "Yeah, like, what's your name?" And I was like, "Oh, Max Sasson." And he's like, "What? What'd you say?" And I was like, "Max
You mean
Sasson."
sus?
And he was like, "That's how you say it?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah." And then from then on, then Shorty came up to me, our guy, a couple days later, and was like, why did you tell him that that's how you say it? And, we have to be on the same page. Like we're the NHL. And so, yeah, now we're all on the same page and Shorty does a great job. And, I think it was an adjustment for him because he'd been saying my name for so long differently. So, but now I think all the announcers are on the same page.
That is hilarious. Cause yeah, that is a classic. That's tough, man. That's pretty funny though. That is a great story.
The way you said you don't care, like it's either right or it's wrong.
Oh, I kind of liked when they said Sasson though, but
That's funny because
Just change your last
I
name.
remember hearing him. No, I remember hearing him like when I would drive home from our games, and I always put on like games or whatever. And so yours are on a lot because it's like I guess we end or whatever. And so
yeah.
I remember him even doing like Sasson, and I'm like, oh shit. I was like, and so it's so funny because this year I heard in the car, I'm like Sasson, so I was like something happened there. I was like, but I just knew, yeah, because you only played one game in Muskegon, right?
Yeah.
I got so lucky because that was the one game I pre-scout and Scott Bradford interviewed you, I think, and
Yes.
that's how I knew your last name. And
Yeah.
it's just crazy,
Yeah.
like how
That's funny. You did the research.
the one game that you played in Muskegon I listened to, and so I was able to, luckily, because it's as an announcer it's tough, but with some names, but poor me. I mean, if that's the hardest part about my job, it's pretty nice. So.
Yeah, we all know the USHL is not incredibly consistent with putting name pronunciations on their line charts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
The amount of times
All right,
I had to
Rachel.
yell at them for that was ridiculous.
Now we can get to the big boy league, I guess, because all right, so we went to the Always Hungry League, and yeah, you kind of gave us a good rundown there. That's what I call it because I feel like any given shifts, you don't know who the hell's out there. You don't know if they're young, old, big. Like, I mean, you gotta be playing that pro game, like that consistent game. But it's like, so when you went to the National League, give us a welcome to the national moment.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've told this one a couple times. Obviously, I think it was my second game. We were playing Pittsburgh, and obviously my childhood icons are playing on the other side. And there was I was F1 on the forecheck, and Sid's coming around the net, and Letang is behind me, and Letang is yelling, "You got time, Sid, you got time." And I looked back, and it was Letang, and Crosby's wheeling the net, and I was like, wow, like this is insane, and kind of just had to take it. I went right to the bench and was like, holy, sorry, Rachel.
No, don't. I just yell at Mark because he keeps dropping F-bombs.
Yeah, so that was probably my welcome to the NHL moment on the ice, and then
That's cool.
I mean
That's
off
really
the ice.
sweet, actually.
Yeah.
It's like a dream or something. Literally, like dreaming about stuff like, and it's just like, wow, it's reality.
Especially those two guys, they've been the longest running NHL teammates
Yeah.
in history, I think.
Yeah, it was crazy, and he did have time. I think he wheeled right around me. So
that is funny. I didn't hear that one. That's sick.
yeah.
I like that. That's sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Rachel, you got as far as
Okay,
at
so we
least
haven't talked
development
about
stuff.
Western Michigan at all. And again, this is a college hockey podcast. That's kind of like the main thing that we talk about. So what was something at Western Michigan? Firstly, what drew you to, I know you're from Michigan, but like what drew you to Western Michigan specifically?
Just the track record they had with late bloomers, doing well there with like Cam Lee was there before me. Ethan Frank, I know was doing well. Josh Basalt, Ronnie Adder, Jason Pohl, like all these guys that kind of none of them were, top draft picks or anything. I mean, Ronnie ended up being
that was gross.
Yeah, so he obviously had that really good year, but most of, I mean, even him though, he took I think to a second to last year in the USHL. So there was just a ton of guys, and then even going back like Sheldon Dries, uh, Mark Lettet, like a bunch of guys that throughout their history had been late bloomers and done well in college, and so Andy Murray explained that to me, and I was kind of just sold on the fact that it also is 2 hours away from home, and the Lawson Lunatics, which are awesome, the student section there, and that's
that's a great name.
Yeah, and also it's not like I had 60 teams not banging the door down, so
that's fair, but still, you had a choice to some extent.
Kinda. No, I did.
Kind of.
I did. Kind of.
That's good. What's your favorite college memory?
I don't think I've ever been asked this. I think beating Michigan at Yost, like that was the year that they had like 15 first round picks. I don't know, that's not the number, but you know what year I'm talking about with like your guy. And Philly and Kent Johnson and Beniers and whoever, Luke Hughes, all those guys. So that was we kicked the shit out of them like 5-2, and
road win like that.
They were like 10-0 at the time too. It was awesome. That was pretty cool. Winning our first tournament game. I think my coach at Western wouldn't be thrilled if I didn't mention that. So winning our first tournament game against Northeastern, that was awesome. And honestly everything, like it was every weekend was a different memory. So
so I guess we were talking about just undrafted guys and things like that, but you played 2 seasons at Western Michigan, so do you think it matters too with development, like if someone had to play 4 or 5 years or whatever it might be, to adjust to college hockey, or did that kind of come easier for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone's different. Like I know I was just saying Ethan Frank, he's in the NHL, he's doing extremely well, and he played 5 years of college hockey and then couldn't even get an NHL deal out of college. So I think it's just different for everyone. I also think that there's guys that probably left a year early, or there's also guys that ripped it up and probably didn't leave early enough, and then they don't have the same offers that they might have had. So everyone's situation's different, but I think that being undrafted at the end of the day, like the odds are going to be stacked against you, no matter when you leave or if you stay, and you're going to have to really outplay some some guys who are probably going to be ahead of you on the depth chart in any organization because you're not the, fifth overall pick, or, you don't have a ton of guys in the room, at training camp saying, this guy needs to make the team. So you're going to have to play really, really good hockey, and, some things are going to have to work out for you, but yeah.
Well said.
Yeah, I know. I was actually, when I was saying it, I was like, that sounds pretty good.
Like, wow, did someone write
I mean,
this
yeah,
for me
say
or
it out.
something like that?
Rate you.
Yeah, so I mean, in the last episode, we literally the whole thing, we spent a whole hour talking about undrafted players. So, like, if you could say anything to those guys other than obviously what you just said, like, just if you were having a one-on-one conversation with them, what would you say to them?
I'd say, like, buckle up. There's gonna be some things that you probably aren't gonna be thrilled about, and there's probably gonna be some. Are you talking about when we get to the, like, pro?
Okay, so let's say sitting across from you is a guy who's currently in college, sophomore year, not drafted. What would you say?
I would. Yeah, just continue to, just play good hockey. Work. I don't know, nothing. I don't have anything that, work your ass off.
Yeah, exactly.
Have fun. Like, I don't have anything that these kids wouldn't know, but I would probably just say that wherever you are, wherever you are in the lineup, however many points you have, I would just focus. Really tried and still try to just focus on, literally whatever the day has for me, and you really can't get ahead of yourself. And, the other thing that I would say is, if you're, the 13th forward, and you're barely getting any, reps, then, every rep, make sure that it's the best rep. I think Tom Brady would always say that. And, if you're a first liner, then, make sure that you stay there, because people are knocking at the door to take your spot. So, yeah, never get comfortable, no matter if you're, not playing or you're running the half wall.
Beautiful. I don't think I have any more for you, man, at least in terms of college stuff. But
Yeah.
Rachel, do you?
Good.
I mean, again, I feel bad because you just did a podcast like exactly this. So
No,
I was like, I don't want him to be like, oh, I'm repeating the same thing all over again. It's the same thing.
It's a little different. Like, you guys asked me more about, college hockey and the USHL, and I definitely didn't get asked about the anthem. I don't think I got asked about the anthem.
That's such a great moment.
That's just lucky, though. You played up. Yeah, because I would never.
I need to find that video.
Yeah.
It's somewhere. I should easily be able to find it. That should not be a problem for me.
I bet
Yeah,
the
no,
right
it's on
guys have
YouTube.
it. I bet I could probably ask Tammy. She's awesome. I love Tammy.
Yeah, she's
Marky,
great.
but yeah, she's awesome. I bet she has it. Yeah, I bet if I emailed her,
Someone has to have, like, probably like 12 people have it. People have it saved. There's no way people don't have it saved.
Yeah.
I was just like, that was hilarious. I was like, let's get.
Right, because again, I saw it.
Broadcast.
I didn't know anything about like the USHL at the time, but I saw that.
Yeah, it's
usually even ask the players. You know, even I don't know, ask Max, but this isn't a USHL pod. But like, it's funny because I talked to players like, yeah, I didn't even know what the Steel or the USHL were until I was in the league. But they always say how competitive it is and how hard it is, for what it's worth.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously it's probably changed a little bit with now the CHL is kind of.
That's what I was just gonna ask you. I was just gonna ask what you thought about that.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, it's tough to blame the kids to go play if they, if they're not going to get penalized for it, then like, but yeah, I mean, it sucks because, like, that one year, my last year in the USHL, it was the best year of the USHL probably ever, because all those CHL kids came to the USHL, like Cole Sillinger and Toporowski, like a bunch of these kids. So, that sucks for the USHL, but also, like, I'm not sure how they can prevent it from happening. So
yeah, that was like the one edge that they had over the Canadian leagues, and now that's yikes.
It's done.
Oh well, it's not. I mean, didn't Muskegon like
great league? Like, it's
try
still
to leave?
and there's still going to be unbelievable players coming from that league. So
they're not going to
it's a
lose
hard
like
league.
especially their American recruits. Like,
yeah.
Not worried about these show. They're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Do you have any more, Rachie?
I'm all good. Is there anything you want to talk about, Max?
Just thanks for taking your holiday.
No, this was
spend with
great.
us, man.
You're also our first guest, so.
Yeah, congrats,
wow.
bro.
Thank
Yep.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, way to go, man. Keep up the good work. I'm still checking out for you in Vancouver. Always seeing on my rides home on the Canucks broadcast, listen to my 25 minutes. But
all right,
yeah.
I'll thanks for having me, guys, and
yeah,
enjoy the Super Bowl.
Get that sun. Get some sun for me, bro. Yeah. No, enjoy your day.
Max
Thanks, bro.
Sasson from Fort Myers, Florida, right now. God, I wish that were me. It's like 7 degrees here in New York. It's actually warmer in Minnesota than it is in New York right now, and that's kind of crazy to me.
That is insane.
Yeah, proud of you, kid. Coming from the USHL just a few years ago.
Mark, so
crazy.
Yeah, you know what? I just met you, but I'm proud of you and I'm cheering for you. So.
Thank you, Rachel.
Of course.
All right. Well,
thank you so much, Max.
Yep. See you guys.